Somebody approached me and they said, we've looked at your record. You're clean, you're ethical, you're decent, and we want to talk to you about running for sure. I said, you know I'm lesbian. And they said, yeah, that is going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. But I think all the other will take care of it. And I mentioned to the people in charge of the Democratic Party at that time that, you know, yes, I have a clean record, but I'm lesbian. And I said, we're going to have to work on that one. I said, I can't change. You know, I've tried for years and I can't change. So, and I remember the head of the Democratic Party, they asked her if the Democrats were gaining a foot in Dallas. And she said, yes, but if they choose to vote for a Hispanic lesbian, they will gain a lot more. And that was the first time the rumors started going out that there might be a Hispanic lesbian running for sheriff. We made the decision to run for sheriff, and of course I had to resign my job. First campaign was a little rough because nobody knew who I was. Campaigns run on money, unfortunately. And I would pick up the phone and I would say, my name is Lupe Valdez. What? Click, you know, who is this? Now it's a little easier. When I call and say, my name is Lupe, they kind of stay with the phone. But I do recall that we went to several workshops on being a candidate. And the issue always came up, and I said, I can't deny it. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to wear it on my sleeve, and I'm not going to print, you know, I'm not going to wear the flag on me, but I'm not going to deny it. And so we went back and forth on what we would do. And of course, I was running against a very conservative gentleman who was very much party politics. And he outed me. He held a press conference and he outed me. And my whole staff going, okay, what are we going to do? And we're all looking at each other. I don't know, what are we going to do? Well, we can't deny, I'm not denying it. I wanted to put out some facts, but I did not want to go negative. And I remember screaming at 1 o'clock in the morning, women don't work that way. And I remember my campaign manager yelling back, that's why women lose. And so we were arguing back. And then I just said, okay, time out. We're all going to bed. We're all going home. We're going to bed. 1 o'clock in the morning. We're all on each other's nerves. Let's come back and think about this. So we all went to bed at 8:30 or 9 o'clock. He comes busting through the door. Same guy that made that statement comes busting through the door. And he said, women don't work that way. Then we're going to work their way. And that was the neatest thing I heard. And he said, we had about 80,000 women, the name of 80,000 women that were neither Republican nor Democrat. They were, you know, they would go either way. And he said, we're gonna rotodial, which means we're gonna give them a call. But we only had enough money for about 35,000. And my message went somewhat like, I don't remember, but it said something like, my opponent has chosen to go negative, but I can't work that way. Let me tell you why I want to be sure. 35 years of law enforcement, international law, national law, state law, you know, so on, so on, so on. I don't know if it worked or not, but I won. You know, so the fact that he came out and outed me, I thought, and I remember that night when we were trying to decide what to do, I remember being so nervous. I said, I had a chance. I had a chance. And now I think I've lost it. And I remember going home almost in tears and going, I can't deny who I am. I can't change who I am. If they don't want me because I'm lesbian, although at that point there was no question that I was the better candidate. There was a real estate worker, there was a banker, there was the guy who'd been in the department for 35 years and couldn't make any changes because he was indebted to everybody, and there was me, you know, who had this long history of law enforcement, success in law enforcement. And I kept saying, if this wasn't a partisan race, I would be sheriff already because I'm the better qualified person. And I remember going home and thinking, now that I thought I had a chance, now that it's out, I may not have a chance. And I remember somebody saying to me, it was another elected official, when I first started and I was asking for support. I was asking all these elected officials for support. And this elected official said to me, I know you're lesbian, but I see your credentials. She said, don't let that be the first thing that comes out about you. Make sure they get the fact that you're qualified and you're good way before this comes out. And I actually hid it for a little while. And the voice kept asking me, and I would answer stuff like, how does that affect what I'm going to do? What does the fact whether I'm lesbian or not affect what I'm going to do? I am a good candidate. And finally, I didn't want that to be the first thing. Once all the other stuff had gotten out, the fact that I'd been overseas with law enforcement and all of that stuff, then when my opponent outed me, it was just time to step up and said, yes, I am lesbian. And here was somewhat of my response. I said, yes, I am lesbian, but that's exactly what you need in this department. Somebody who knows what it is to be the underdog and to be prejudiced against and still stay on top. Those who have been around a while constantly go back to the fact of when I was elected, of how big news it was. And it literally went all around the world. I do recall getting phone calls from all around the world at all hours of the day and night, of course, all of Central America. And I think it was the call from Africa at 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, what is the big deal? I just got elected sheriff. What is the big deal? And they said, you don't get it, do you? You're lesbian, you're Hispanic, you're female, and you did it in Bush's backyard in Texas. At that time, the first Bush was president, or this is the second Bush, I don't remember. But and then and my campaign would say, you don't realize what you've done, do you? And I went, I'm sheriff. What the big deal? What's the big deal? And said, you just turned the tide. The tide just started turning. That an openly lesbian Hispanic, just came out and won. So you're about to change the tide. Of course, 2 years later, everything started changing.